The Habs get smoked by a team on one of the longest losing streaks in the NHL. We're upset about it. There's a lot of negatives, but maybe a few positives to break down on this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to today's game reaction edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse, alongside my co-host, Jesse Poirier. And quickly before we get into the video, a quick reminder that 75% of you guys who are watching our daily content are not subscribed. Like I said, we have content every single day, some awesome content where we break down every bit of news, rumors, game reactions, anything you can think of about the Montreal Canadiens. So if you want to subscribe, hit that bell. This is your home for all things Habs. Jesse, that game was frustrating. I'm frustrated. I'm going to voice it right off the bat. Buffalo came into this game on an 8-game losing streak. They were just not playing well at all, getting manhandled by teams. Montreal comes in, and we are down 3-0, no less than 2.5 minutes into the game. Well, what are your initial reactions from just how this game ended up as a massive loss where we gave up 7 goals? Because I am frustrated, and I am extremely disappointed.
Yeah, well, you know how Coach Marty St. Louis always likes to say that you have to play the game and you have to bring your game to the game. Well,
Yes.
quite simply, that just didn't happen tonight. We weren't ready off the jump. We had to buckle in early, and the game just got away from us too quickly. I mean, we showed some good periods of some good hockey. We just weren't really able to sustain that tonight. So one of the big differences.
Yeah, man, it's always tough. Like, you go into a game and immediately Buffalo scored 2 goals within the first 58 seconds, and those 2 goals were 15 seconds apart. So they scored at 43 and at 58 seconds. And then Michael Pezzetta gets a boarding call, and Weidman decides, I'm going to try and spark the team by getting into a fight with Tyson Jost, who just didn't want to go at all. Weidman punches him in the face. I'm surprised he didn't get the extra 2. And then Buffalo scores on the ensuing power play. It just felt like everything fell apart for Montreal. Jake Allen could have had probably 2 of those 3 goals. It just put us in a huge deficit early. Yeah, we scored at 3 minutes into the first to make it 3-1, and we had some great pushes after, but it just felt like Montreal was, since we got outplayed from the start, we just couldn't claw our way back in, and it felt like, I don't know, it felt like the boys kind of gave up. Did you get that same feeling?
Well, a couple of bounces here or there. I don't necessarily feel that they gave up all the way, but it is definitely one of our worst losses of the season where it's just kind of getting away from us a little bit. A couple unfortunate defensive turnovers. It hurts all the more when the goalie giving you this loss, Craig Anderson, is 41 years old, across the net from you. But I mean, Sabres did what they had to do tonight. Their skilled players showed up, and Tage Thompson, and Jeff Skinner, they both had a game tonight, and their penalty kill was really working. What's been one of our strengths as we've kind of moved along in the season, wasn't really clicking tonight just because they were overloading Caulfield so much. They're taking away our number one option from that. I mean, so kudos to them for a good game plan on that. Cole Caulfield's going to know how to adjust to this type of adversity because I mean he's starting to get that respect for being a sniper now. Now he needs to figure out how to adjust to that.
Yeah, he does, and I thought the Habs power play was doing a good job of that in a couple games ago. But even when we get little stretches of our power play working, it feels like it's rarely consistent. We had some good moments tonight. I thought our first couple power plays looked really good. We had lots of opportunities we couldn't capitalize, but so what if a power play looks good if you can't capitalize? 0 for 6 is frustrating, and it's not the first game that's happened this season. I don't know if Alex Burrows, Martin St. Louis need to make a change or something on the power play. We've talked about this. It feels like all season long. We've had good moments of the power play. It looked like it was bouncing back, and then we have a game like this where I lose faith again. It's really interesting. I mean, again, I don't think we looked bad on the power play, and Buffalo had a good penalty kill, but it just sucks. I mean, Buffalo, like, some of their guys showed up big tonight. I mean, Jeff Skinner has killed the Habs his entire career. He's now up to 40 points in 37 games played against Montreal. He had a 5-point night, 2 goals, 3 assists. Tage Thompson with a goal, 3 assists. It just felt like Buffalo was getting to their spots at will, and that's a common theme we've seen a lot from Montreal this season. I mean, like, Jesse, how many times have we sat here and said, well, the defense kind of blew their coverage on that one goal there. It wasn't really the goalie's fault. Felt like that happened 3 or 4 times tonight. I mean, I think we missed a big physical presence tonight. I think Harris had a bad game, And I mean, nothing against Harris. I love Jordan Harris, but I think he had a bad game. I was not impressed with Weidman at all. I don't think he should really ever be getting minutes for Montreal now. I think we missed Jack and Kovacevic. Do you agree with that? Do you think, because I feel like our defensemen just didn't give the effort that they really should have?
Yeah, I was definitely missing Jack Eye. It was like a noticeable difference not having Mom, which again just kind of reaffirmed to me why I want to keep him up with a big club
Mm-hmm.
and not send him down to Laval. I understand that we do need to do a rotation at a certain point, but I feel as the season goes on that rotation is going to become thinner and thinner. Even with Arbor Jack Eye in the lineup, a common theme though so far is this that we're allowing too many shots on net. And while we are getting our opportunities, we are getting our shots tonight, we're just allowing too many shots on net. When we're allowing 38, 40 shots a night, quite simply, it's just too much at this point. So we're definitely going to need to address that at some point.
Yeah, it's not, you can't continually win games if you're getting outshot. Now Montreal in recent times, like recent past week, I'd say we've done a pretty good job of putting shots on net, and even tonight in the first period, I believe they had 12 shots in the first 10-ish minutes of the game, like in the first half of the first period. They were on pace for a ton of shots. We were out shooting Buffalo. We were pressing them hard into the second period. But as is the case with a lot of Montreal games, we got behind. We started sort of like losing confidence in ourselves, giving up rushes, dumping the puck in, and not able to recover it for offensive zone possessions. There was a couple times there tonight, too, where just little, almost subtle defensive mistakes cost us. There was a time where Mike Matheson, who he scored last game. I have not been super impressed with him yet. I hope it's just rust that he's shaking off, but he's made some very strange mistakes. As Arpon Basu tweeted during the game, there was one point where Matheson kind of just forgot to back check at the right time, and he just kind of missed a puck that he should have had 99 times out of 100, and what ended up happening was Buffalo recovered it off a dump in, and they had a minute in the offensive zone right after that. Matheson was... I also wasn't super impressed with him on the power play. This is not me, crapping on Matheson, because he's a good player. I'm not saying he's bad, we should do this or that. I'm not going to overreact, but I wasn't very impressed tonight with him, and I think that, I don't know, the effort from the D-Corps wasn't quite there. Now, Jesse, I want to hear some of your thoughts on Jake Allen tonight. Just some quick ones. I know I've been a lover of Jake Allen. I defend him a lot. Advanced stats have him as a top, 15 to 20 starter in the league, which is pretty good for the team he's on, But at the same time, in the past week or so, I feel like he hasn't been performing up to his best standards. Do you think it's better if we maybe get Monty in for a few more games here and there, or maybe even see Primo every now and then just to give Allen a little more rest than he's currently getting?
It's an interesting point that you bring up, Josh. And there kind of has been some murmurs around Montreal of wanting to give Samuel Montembeault, Dikembe, as we affectionately like to call him, a little bit more ice time because, he's playing great so far this year. And that's been one of the great surprise, stories so far of this season is who would have really have seen that coming. He's taken a huge leap. He's playing great. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more of that happen going forward.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see happen. I mean, Allen, as we all know, over his whole career, he's thrived as sort of a 1B or even like a high tier number 2 goalie. When he's been a starter, he has moments where he shines, but over an extended period of time, he tends to fall off. And I'm wondering if we're starting to see that already in late November. It's a little worrying, but I think that Monty maybe should get some more starts just to give Allen a little bit more of a break because he looks tired. Sometimes he gets caught out of position, but tonight was a hard loss for him, and I'm sure he's going to be upset about it. This Montreal team loves to win; these young guys want to win, and I'm sure he's going to feel bad for one of his more lackluster performances of the season. But let's get into a couple positive things before we end this off, because I don't want to spend too much time talking about this. I'm sure all of you watching, if you're still here at this point in the video, honestly, it's a miracle. No one wants to come to a video after a 7-2 loss. But let's get into some positive points. I want to talk about Slafkovsky because this was his game on the second line. He played amazing. I thought he fit in with that second line perfectly. I thought some of his abilities to handle the puck in the offensive zone, control the puck, maybe he missed on a few passes here and there, maybe could have shot the puck. There was a couple chances where, one, he had Dvorak right across the crease and Weidman up at the top for a one-timer. He kind of fanned on the pass, but he fit in well. He created a lot of chances. He had an awesome save. Buffalo tried to clear on a power play, and he just went and smacked the puck down out of the air, kept the power play alive. Jesse, what were your impressions with Slafkovsky tonight on the second line, and do you think he should stay there?
I absolutely think he should stay there. My impressions were of him that he was tremendously noticeable tonight. which I'm really happy about. Yeah, he was definitely big on the ice tonight, playing with a lot of speed. That's just one of the main things I noticed. And he's kind of doing a little bit of everything right, breaking out of the defensive zone with the puck. He's snapping passes that a lot of our players, they're not even able to handle. Like, this guy is really snapping around pinpoint passes. But I think one of the most impressive things about his game tonight was just his presence on the power play. Like, he really looked like a threat there every single time. He had his stick up and he's just ready for that one timer. And I'm wondering, Josh, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this, if maybe we don't see him soon enough, possibly on that first line power play, because I feel like he might be a great addition along with Doc, along with Suzuki, Caulfield, of course, because we know with Suzuki that he often plays either where the first look is to make the pass to Caulfield. If that's taken away, then he shoots. But let's say they're now taking away the shot from Suzuki. I think providing another shooting threat on the opposite wing from Caulfield in Slavkovsky would just be a tremendous look. So I think he's really making his way up the ranks right now. And I really love the way that Marty St. Louis is doing this, because I think he's being smart. He realized that there's still a lot of veterans on Montreal, and you can't just put them up ahead of the line on the second line right away, first line. You need to make them deserve it. And this just helps, I feel, in my opinion, just for good team chemistry, because you're not having any players that are just, feeling any sort of possible animosity and just saying, oh, this is the first overall pick, and he's just kind of getting gifted his ice time and everything else. I think when you make him earn it, start him off on the fourth, maybe get some time on third, now the second, he's showing he deserves it, and it just helps with overall team cohesion.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, to me, he's shown he definitely deserves, and I think his play on the power play too tonight was great. And to your point about maybe moving him to the power play one, I'm all for it. I'd love to see a shakeup. I mean, we just complained about the power play. I'd love to see this kind of shakeup. Can you imagine, a one-time threat, on a lefty on the right side, a righty on the left side, ready to snipe that top shelf? I mean, Caulfield, he got a goal tonight. We haven't even really mentioned it because, this game was just a lost cause pretty early on, but he had a snipe from the point. Like, it was a hard shot, right top shelf. Caulfield's still amazing. 12 goals now, leads the team. But you're right, having Suzuki there and his passing ability to have one option, an elite goal scoring option on one side, and Slavkovsky, who we don't know yet if he's going to be an elite goal scoring option, but he has a hell of a hard shot, and he's able to put that puck on the net with some force, at the very least to create some rebound opportunities. So I think that would be an awesome addition to see Slavkovsky up there on the first over, some other guys that we've had there. Hey, if they want to go back to the 5 forwards, why don't we just take Matheson right back out and toss Slav out there? We've done it before. I thought it was interesting too. We had Doc playing the point on the 4-on-3 power play, which didn't really work. That 4-on-3 power play just, I don't know. They got nothing going. They had one guy stuck on Caulfield, and we couldn't really do anything with the 3-on-2. So anyway, but besides that, no, I think you're right. I think this was Slavkovsky's one of his better games as a Montreal Canadian. His presence was felt out there a lot more, and I think a lot of that comes with his increase in ice time. I saw him a lot more, but he was always making the right plays. I don't know if I have much else to talk about this game. I'm glad we're sort of talking about the positive things here. Caulfield goal, and Monahan. I want to talk about Monahan. Great game from him tonight. Awesome on the face-off dot. Looked good on the power play. Created a lot of chances. Could have had 2 goals tonight, maybe even 3, but he did have that one where he took it all in himself and put it behind the net. But this game was scrappy. Really, really scrappy, and Buffalo used that to their advantage, drawing a couple penalties where they capitalized on the power play or at least gained some momentum. And we missed some physical presences in Xhekaj and Kovacevic. Is there anything you wanted to mention before we close this up? Because to be honest, I'm pretty upset after watching that, and I don't know how much more I want to talk about this loss.
Well, thankfully, we've got a quick turnaround tomorrow night playing, the Columbus Blue Jackets. So, got another opportunity to turn the page real quick.
Another struggling team, a team that Montreal should have beaten last time, didn't get the win. They're going to be out for blood going into Columbus, and they would need to beat a shorthanded Blue Jackets team. And if not, that that locker room morale is probably going to go down. So we're going to be looking forward to that next game, and we'll be here for your game recap. In the meantime, if you enjoyed the video, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel. We're doing so well with subscribers, especially on yesterday's video. You guys loved that one. But yeah, subscribe, like the video, helps us out a lot. I'm Josh Gosse for my co-host Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.